Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Dan's Models. John and Dan here, and we're looking at another HO scale model.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about this one a little bit, Dan?
This is a Bowser Conrail N5 Caboose that I built to be the end of the train when we did our run-by shots for the HO weathering and detailing series on diesels, because I built a Conrail engine for that. And I wanted to have a Conrail Caboose at the end of the train. So I got this kit, and it was pre-painted, but I actually did some painting of my own on it to make it more authentic. And I also changed some details.
You know, now that you mention it, this is the one that was at the end of the train that went by the cows, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things I did was I got, I think it's American Model Builders, if I'm not mistaken, makes a window kit for this, which I installed, which has, the way they're masked, you can make it look like the windows have been replaced with more modern gasketed windows.
Oh.
Which by the Conrail era was more correct for cars like this. I also used I think I added the wheel inspection dots from microscale decals.
Okay.
And the freestanding grabs, some of those I think I made also. And I removed the roof walk, let's put it this way, I never put the roof walk on. And I made these little supports from some scrap styrene, and then also put some nut bolt washer castings where the roof walk would have been, so it kind of looks like it's been removed. I believe I found photographs of this car or ones just like it.
Okay.
And
that would be standard procedure for you.
Right. And I also replaced the steps with some new ones from CalScale, which are actually made to fit this model, so they just like replace the kit steps.
Wasn't too much of a pain.
No, it was actually pretty easy, but they look a lot better than the ones that came with it. So I did some detailing on the end too. I used Katie scale couplers, added a train line air hose, and more grab irons. I also put a little panel here to fill in this area because I noticed that on the real ones it was like that.
Oh, so it wasn't just an open bar or whatever.
Yeah. So I kind of, redid that a little bit and kind of reworked I think the original car had ladders on the ends, and I got rid of those and had to do a little bit of surgery. Well, there's still a little bit of a ladder left, but it's been cut away, and it basically just made it look like the real car looks. Because when they got rid of the roof walk, they got rid of the ladders too.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't have to get up on the roof, right?
Yeah. So anyway, these are basically, the real ones are old cabooses that date back to the Pennsylvania Railroad and, steam era.
Yeah.
So, but they were still being used by Conrail.
Yeah. Do you know when Conrail stopped using cabooses?
Well, probably when everyone else did in the 80s. So I added some brake detail on the bottom as well. It had, I think the car came with the major components, but I added some piping and this little piece here. And
did you use the old brass wire trick?
Yeah, brass wire. It's not, as is usual when I do this, it's not a contest quality piping job on the underside, but it looks good when the car's rolling down the track. It gives it just enough detail so when it's on the track, it looks like it's got a full brake system.
Yeah.
And I also used Tahoe Model Works trucks because they made the right kind of caboose trucks for this car. And so that was the first time I think I've ever used them. They're very, very nice trucks. And they roll really well, and they have the nice, semi-fine scale wheels already installed.
So the trucks come with the wheels?
Yeah, I believe they did. It's been a while since I bought them, but I'm pretty sure that they came with the wheels already like that.
Yeah. It looks neat underneath. So I have a question, though, because you've said this before, and I've often wondered, how detailed people get for contests. What do you mean by, contest? How did you put it? Winning or whatever?
Well, if you really wanted to do it right, there's a lot of detail and plumbing and stuff on the underside of a car.
Would they really check that for a contest?
Yeah, they might.
Oh, wow. I've had no idea people get that detailed with this stuff.
I just don't usually care to bother modeling stuff that can't be seen when it's rolling down the track.
Yeah.
Because my thing is I want it to look real while it's on the track, but I don't care what it looks like when you turn it over. Really,
Yeah, right. I mean, because how often would you see a caboose turned over like this?
unless it derails, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know,
You don't want to see a derailment on your railroad.
No, I don't really want to see derailment. So it's just not my thing to do that. Some people like it,
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well,
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, if you want to get silly about that, though, you could also require people to have smoke coming out the little chimney stack.
Yeah, well, you can, yeah.
or my old favorite, having the fans turn on the locomotive.
Oh, yeah,
that will never happen.
There we go.
Yeah,
well, this is a caboose. It doesn't have any fans like that.
You could install them. Put a cannon fan right on top of that thing. That would look real good.
Yeah. So I didn't do an interior for this car.
Shame on you.
Yeah, well. I also didn't put any lights on it. I had thought of that, but I think when I was doing this, we were coming up on a deadline for having to shoot the trains because we had arranged time at the South Bay Historical Rail Society's layout.
Oh, yeah. Since you mentioned that, I'd like to point out something. On our YouTube channel, we have a video called, I think it's HO Scale DCC Run by Bonanza or something like that. And it is one of our most popular in terms of like how many views it gets per month or how many minutes get watched every month. And by now I would have placed a little link to it on somewhere on the screen. You should definitely go check this out if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, go watch it again because it's a really cool video.
Yeah. But anyway, so I didn't ever get around to putting lights in it or anything like that. But that's always something. I think these things might have had marker lights on them.
Yeah. Well, but, in the context of our video, you didn't need it because it was daylight anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, Conrail is not my thing that I normally model, so it's, not a big priority.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you. I don't know if you know the answer to this, but, back in the old days when trains still ran around with cabooses on the ends and all that, and they would swap power sometimes, but would it be likely to see some other agency's caboose on a train?
If they had a pool arrangement for the cabooses, it might be possible. I
don't remember ever seeing that. Did you?
I remember when I was a kid, I used to see Union Pacific cabooses on Southern Pacific trains sometimes.
Oh, okay. So maybe they did.
Yeah, but I don't think that was generally how it worked. I don't know. In certain situations, they may have.
Or who knows? Maybe it was the power that was swapped, and it really was a Union Pacific train, but with Southern Pacific power, right?
Well, it was on Southern Pacific track, so I would assume it was an SP train. But
don't know.
Anyway.
Just curious. It's one of those dumb questions I have,
Yeah.
The dumb burning question. Only I get those. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, catch you next time.